So, welcome back. I know that I recently uploaded a video about the Kung Fu series that's on HBO Max. So, I found out it's actually sort of, I guess, like loosely based related to the David Carradine Kung Fu, the series, which I didn't know before. I'd been recommended the show. I was like, oh, I'll go into it blind, not research anything, just see what I find. I was not prepared for the show that I want. Like, I've seen other CW shows, right? Like, I've seen, like other stuff like The Flash. I think Smallville is CW. Like the CW verse, like their TV shows and stuff, and I've seen some of their slightly more like drama type stuff, but this was not. I don't think I thought the show was going to do all that. Now, okay, this is saying I did the video, and in the video I think I said it was at episode maybe 4 or 5, somewhere around there. So I got to episode 4 or 5, and then I sort of just started to like really get into the show. Like, I need to see where this is going. Like, I need to like really invest. So, okay, stop right here. Before anything else, I'm going to spoil the whole show in however long this takes for me to do this little series. Well, I mean, I guess season review. Okay, so if you don't want to know anything about the show, which I would recommend go watch, leave. Well, I mean, don't leave. Watch, but know that I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. It would still be worth watching, I think. If you just if you don't want to hear the thing, then you can go, and then everybody else. Okay, here we go. So, from what the show initially was, right? So you have the show. It's a girl. Her mother is being overbearing, because that's how it's like introduced. The mother's being overbearing, trying to do the matchmaker thing, get her set up. She runs away, goes to a monastery. Okay. So you're slowly introduced to her Shifu. You're slowly introduced to this concept of who she is as a person. Wakes up to, smoke in the monastery. Somebody comes in, kills her Shifu. Revenge story. Okay, so you're like, it's a very generic revenge story, but it seems like it's good. Like the first few episodes, you're like, okay, I can invest in this. But all of the characters have development. Like, all of the characters have a backstory. Like, you find out the brother is gay and the parents know, but then they just haven't acknowledged it, so you run with that storyline. And then you have the sister who's getting married, and she's getting married to a wealthy family in this particular timeline, and the husband doesn't know that the job that she worked for previously, the boss of that job, like assaulted her, and she's dealing with all that, and can I get married and not tell him? It's a big secret. Okay, so she's dealing with that. And you have the main character. She has the ex-boyfriend who is now in the DEA or DA's office. No, I'm sorry, DA's office. He's in the DA's office, and there's that whole storyline, because then he's dating somebody new and that. And then when the main character comes back, she's dealing with her brother works at a clinic in a community center. At the community center, there's a guy who teaches Tai Chi. She starts getting involved with him. You find out he has a past and all that. Okay, so you got a lot of characters, a lot of development. Right. So you're like, okay, you got a lot of characters, a lot of development. They're going to use all these people so that you can have little one-off episodes, which is true. But the way that they go about it, they get you to invest in these characters in a way that I was not expecting to when I started watching this show. I kind of assumed that I would hit season 2 or 3, and I'd be like, oh yeah, Althea, the sister character, Althea, this is why, this is the journey we've gone on with her, and this is where we got to. So they're giving you something to attach you to the character. There are moments, all right, so I'm not gonna lie, there are moments that are slightly predictable in the show, but then there are other things that happen. So there's a moment where the main character has a confrontation with the person who killed her Shifu. Finds out, it's her sister. Then the sister's like, yeah, my sister murdered our father, and she's hiding a whole life from you. And it's like, okay, I mean, I feel like there's more context. You know, like as soon as you hear it, you're like, I don't like you're the bad guy. We were introduced to you murdering someone, so like you must be the bad guy. So then you actually find out what happened, and you know the sister was young, saw her sister arguing with the father. The father was trying to take like the sword that the family was protecting because the mother had passed away, and he was trying to sell it. She was trying to hold on to it. He was trying to pull it, and it stabbed him. Okay, so it's more of a the younger sister's, I'm gonna say misinterpretation of the situation, but like in the sister's eyes, you were holding the sword. Dad was stabbed with the sword, so like you are the reason why he's dead now. Like you intended for that to happen, and yeah. So even the Xiaolin's character, or I think it's Xiaolin. I think it's her name. The villain of the story. Even she has a little bit of like a growth. Like she starts out like cold blooded. I don't need anybody, and then she falls for someone, and then there's that whole like how that develops, and then you see that reach its eventual end. Even that you kind of see that coming, like where that goes at a certain point, because there's a scene where she's talking to a professor. I say it's a professor. I don't think he's a doctor. He's a professor, and he knew about the ancient weapons, which that's a plot line in the story. So initially, there are these weapons. I'm jumping all over the place. Initially, there are these weapons, right? There's 8 of them. They're imbued with power, and she's trying to gather all of them. The first one she got is a sword from her sister, who she stabbed in the monastery. Okay, that's the bad guy. She's trying to get all of them. There's this guy who's been studying ancient Chinese culture, knows about the weapon. She kidnaps him, and she kills him. So you're like, oh, she can be friendly with someone up till the expiration of their usefulness, and then she will get rid of them. So the person that she gets attached to, you're like, oh, okay. So once this runs its course, like she's gonna be done. And it, like the fact that the other character didn't see, obviously the other character isn't, us, the audience. So like we saw it happen before. So that character doesn't know that that's gonna happen. But like you see it and you're like, like that guy's just looking for love. Because the whole storyline with that character she like falls for is that guy's father is the person that was the reason why her mom died, because there was like water runoff from a factory that he had, so she blames him and the father. And then I think he also has like organized crime ties. I think I wasn't paying too much attention to the father storyline because the other people's storylines were so intriguing, and the whole concept of like, oh, this big bad. I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'm sure we'll get to that. And it, I ended up being right. At the end of the season, you get this clip of like, ooh, it's so much more than what this season ended as, and you're like, okay. I mean, yes, obviously, because you need to get to a season 2, and they sort of wrap this up in not it's over, like it's been sort of resolved, like it could become more, but like it's so basically like if they didn't get renewed, like you'd have like a nice ending, right? Okay. There are definitely moments in the show that catch you by surprise, right? The parents being very accepting of their son coming out, big surprise, both to the characters in the show and just that they did that in the show. The fact that Althea's character actually decides to like come out and say, her story, like speak her truth about what happened to her, surprising. The fact that once it gets to the point in the story, the sister's like, I have to leave, and the sister's like, I understand, like this is your journey, like you have to go and do this. So it's just there's a lot that it was an emotional roller coaster, I'll say that. And it might just be where I'm at in life right now, so it just hit me different. Maybe you'll watch it and you'll be like, why are you so emotionally invested in this show? Because I am. That's just where I'm at right now. I thought it was great, and it had me all over the place. There was a Black Lives Matter episode that was a lot. There's an episode where they were talking about labor rights and like unions and somebody basically trying to like unionize. That episode got me. Like there's just a bunch of episodes where it was just like, wow, like these episodes, like they're really trying to make you focus on things. There was the episode where Althea was talking to, initially, I think it's a reporter who's trying to get her to come out about her story, and then subsequently was it the attorney for the guy? Somebody from the guy who was her boss before, who had her sign an NDA. I don't remember if it was an attorney or maybe it was just like his assistant or so. I don't really remember the character. He was very forgettable. Like he showed up and he was like, "We'll give you money, sign something," and then he didn't see him anymore. Like I think you heard him on the phone maybe one more time. So whatever. But yeah, there was a lot of episodes that were just very. There was an episode with the Althea's fiance at that point, his sister, and like her like troubled past and dealing with it. Like there's just a lot of good like the character development. Like you get to know the characters. It's not just okay, here's the main character, they have siblings, they have parents, and you're following their story, but there's other people around. So like if we need to throw them in randomly, we'll throw them in randomly. It seems like they develop the people and the characters so that you can like build like a world around them, and you want to invest in a world. You're like, yeah, this is. They're talking about actual topics. They're talking about actual things that like are relevant currently, and even if you look like throughout history, they could always be seen as relevant. But it's a very interesting, and then like hearing the perspectives of like why the characters think the way that they do. It's a good show. I would recommend anybody to watch it. Like it's a very good show. More than I thought for the CW, if I'm being honest. Not like as a jab at CW. It's just I was expecting it to be more of like a lighthearted, action-y show. I wasn't expecting it to be that intense emotionally. And again, it might just be like where I'm at in my life, which is a whole other story. But the way it hit was just intense. Like it has some very emotionally charged moments. So if you're gonna watch it, be prepared. Like know that you're gonna invest in the show as as a person. You're gonna care about the characters. So what I'm saying is I recommend the show. Go watch it. It's a ton of fun. It's 13 episodes. Each episode is 42 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. I think it's 42 because it's like 42, and then if it were on the CW with commercials, it's like an hour long. Okay, it's worth it. It's 13 episodes. It's like 13 hours. You can binge it over like a weekend. It's good. Or like an hour or so every day. You watch for like 2 weeks. It's a great show to watch. And the more people that watch it, it's already been renewed. I did check this. It's already been renewed for 6 seasons. So the more people that watch it and the fan base, it'll get more seasons, and hopefully it'll continue in the vein that it's currently in. So comment below any movies, TV shows, because this was a recommendation from someone of a TV show, and I loved it. It was great. Comment below TV shows, movies, music, really anything. Kind of open to anything. Or just regular like current event topics. I'll talk about anything. Even politics. Because we'll see where that goes. Talk about politics and, social inequality. Well, we do that on the channel. I might bring somebody else on for that, but we do that on the channel as well. Why not? We can do anything now. We're modest. We can talk about whatever we want. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Somewhere around either here or here, there will be little and they might pop up like way after I said that. Little suggestions for other videos that I think are relevant to what I was just talking about, like either the other Kung Fu video or just another video that I think I want you to watch. This is gonna be my recommendation. Click on it. Watch all the videos. They're all worth it. It's all me just kind of talking and ranting and stuff. That's it.